What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be going over the red day we had today, give you guys a little bit of background on why that happened, my thoughts on this and the rest of December, and then a bit of a SPAC update and just how I handle this market to hedge against some downside risk. But before we get into it, if you don't mind dropping a like and hitting subscribe, it really helps out the channel. Check out the links in the description to the free Discord server and my Webull referral link, where when you deposit $100, you still get 4 free stocks right now. So let's get into it. So the NASDAQ was hit hard today, as you guys can see here, after a huge run since October. This was obviously due for. We've had a ton of green days, and it didn't help that it sounds like the deal for stimulus is going to take longer than expected. So they're still negotiating, but it's a ways away from, coming to fruition. But this was highly expected, especially after yesterday reaching all-time highs. You had to kind of have a feeling, after all these green days in a row, this is pretty healthy for the market. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not sure if this is going to continue tomorrow and the next day, if we're going to have a ton of red days in a row. But the market is pricing in this stimulus, and the vaccine news is very helpful. Obviously, the Fed is putting money in the market as well. So any type of delay or negative news is going to take away from, our green days and the overall optimism in the market. But we still have, hope there, because it's solid to have these pullbacks, because I don't expect the market to just go green the entire month of December. So when stocks are at all-time highs and you're having loads of green days in a row, you're going to have people taking profits, and you're going to have people not really wanting to buy stocks at all-time highs. So there's going to be less volume in the market. So these pullbacks are actually positive, despite, premium burn on your options contracts or your portfolio looking red today. It is positive because the pullback will help us get more volume in the market and eventually jump forward to higher highs. At least that's my thoughts on this. I'm still pretty bullish for December. So like I said, I think a lot of people expected this after hitting all-time highs. The delays obviously don't help. We got some negative news, and overall, I'm still bullish for December. I think this pullback was necessary. And obviously, no one can predict the future, but I am still hopeful of this Santa Claus rally. We got to risk manage accordingly. You got to keep cash on the side so you can dollar cost average down on red days. You can buy off resistance. And, if the next few days are red, you have more cash on the sidelines to dollar cost average down. You just want to think long term here. You don't necessarily need to look at your portfolio every day and panic. You got to have a longer outlook, and you got to have that conviction on the stocks that you like. Even if it's red, that that's a good stock and you believe in it, so you're not going to panic sell it. When it comes to options, this is why I usually suggest playing far out unless, you have a certain catalyst you're looking to play and sell pretty quickly. I usually like to play a couple months out if I'm going to play options, and at a reasonable strike price. So my approach for buying my favorite stocks right now is that, we needed that pullback because I wasn't really trying to buy these stocks at all-time highs. Even though we only pulled back a little bit, it really wasn't a crash. I know some people are saying it's a crash. It was like 1 to 2%, I think. And March was like 30%, so it was definitely not a crash. You can't time the bottom, so it's best, like I said, to just buy here and there in waves. That's how I personally like to do it. That's what's worked well for me. Because, when you spend all your money at once, if it goes lower, you're not really going to like that. And vice versa, if you don't buy in waiting for the bottom and it shoots back up, well, that sucks too. So although it was a red day, SPACs are actually holding up pretty nicely, much better than before the election. When we had that uncertainty or negativity in the market, all SPACs pretty much died. But lately, SPACs have been, hyping up. I think a lot more people know about SPACs now and are investing in it. Even larger institutions or ETFs are buying into SPACs now, and so that's pretty positive for the SPAC market. I am a bit skeptical just because they are hyping up like crazy, even just on a letter of intent or rumor. You see SPACs pop from like 10 to 15 overnight. So you just have to step back a bit and be a bit careful. Limit your downside risk. Try to buy in near the floor, or, don't chase them when they shoot up too much. That's kind of how you can protect yourself, because you don't want these institutional investors to, really dump these bags on you, which could happen at any time. You never know. If the market were to really dump, I think SPACs would be some of the first to go. So you just have to be careful of that. But the ones we're going to talk about today are SBE, TRNE, and IPOB. Those are the ones that I have been really focused on lately. And for the other ones, there's a ton of them. I didn't really see too many sell off too hard today. So yeah, overall pretty positive for SPACs. So this news isn't directly related to LCA, but we did see that New York may soon allow sports betting, and I personally saw DraftKings pop off this news before the market, overall dumped. But so that was a pretty positive catalyst for them, and this could come as soon as, the end of the year. They could be legalizing sports wagering in New York. So I thought, since it's industry related, why not mention it for LCA as well? It gives them another state that they could potentially get licensed in, and I think for this whole industry, the more states that legalize it, that's going to be a catalyst every single time. So I just wanted to mention that here. So in my opinion, LCA is holding up pretty nicely. It did have a bit of a sell-off today, only like $1, $2 down. So it is kind of trading in a channel of 22 to 25. That is support and resistance in my opinion from what I can see. I'm bullish on them. I do think closer to merger, or if the market goes green again, we're going to see LCA heading higher. I'm liking these articles. Online poker companies continue to make more money than ever during this pandemic. And that's not going to go away post-pandemic. People are still going to do online betting. It's fun. It's easy. You can do it from your house. Sports betting, of course, it's popular and only getting bigger. So I'm pretty bullish on Golden Nugget. I think post-merger things will go well. But, if this does run up a crazy amount, I think it's smart to trim some profits and lock in some profits just in case it does dump. You don't want to be stuck with everything. I think it's smart to lock some in. I have shares and warrants, and I will probably, lock in the warrants profits pretty soon here. So for IPOB, this is one that I do really like, and I think it's going to be a great long-term hold as well. ARK Invest has been buying them like crazy, and they hold them in a ton of different ARK ETFs. This one has been trading between like $24 to $28, and that's kind of like the channel that I put them in. I think the resistance is about $28 and the support is like 24-ish. So that's pretty good. I think it will head higher, especially when we get that Chamath tweet. That's going to happen. He did it for MP Materials and TRNE, so why would he not tweet about the one that he is mainly a part of, and that's IPOB? This is going to be like his first big one leading into all his other ones. So I think this will be the biggest hitter. And then maybe later on when he tweets about his other 100 SPACs that he's going to do, his effect won't have as much catalyst behind it. But I'm pretty bullish on this. And also the fact that post-merger SPACs are doing very well, like LAZR and QS. They've been killing it. So I think people have a more positive outlook on SPACs now, rather than they merge and then they sell off, is how I think people used to view them. Next up, we have TRNE, and had a pretty impressive day, to be honest, trading around $26.19 after hours. It was up $1.22 on the day and $1.42 after hours, so that's about a 10% gain on the entire day. So we should see this ticker change pretty soon. It could be tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to be DM, so Desktop Metal. And, this is a really solid company. I've been holding them for a long time, back before they were even noticed in the SPAC market, I want to say. A lot of people were focusing on the other hype SPACs, and I think this one just kind of flew under the radar next to MP Materials and some of those other ones. So I'm not really concerned with selling my shares because my cost basis is so low, and this is one that I actually wanted to hold long term. I thought it was a really cool company when I did the video on them, and I watched their interviews and just how, what they're doing with their 3D printers and stuff. I just really liked it, so I'm not concerned about selling it even if it goes up. I do have a February call option that I bought a long time ago, like I mentioned in one of my other videos. It's a 12.5 strike price. It's deep in the money now. I'm up a ton on it. I do want to sell it, but I also have so much time. I'm not too worried. Like if it did come back down to support, yeah, I would take a little bit off my contract, but it's still far out. I think this could run up when the ticker changes. So we'll definitely see. I'll be watching this one closely just for that reason. As far as shares, I'm not worried about it. I think it's a great company. Currently, support is around $22 and resistance is 26. But we could see this thing, continue to rise. So I'll keep watching it. Next up, we have SBE. This is ChargePoint, and this one's been really impressive. We did see, at the turn of the month, beginning of December, it did touch back down to the high 20s. But since then, it's been really solid in the 30s and 40s. And, first resistance now is around $45, $46, and support is around $36, $37. So that's pretty positive. It didn't sell off as I thought it would after being up 132% this month. I thought people were going to treat this like a SPAC and sell it off and take profits, but I think people really understand this company. They understand the technology and understand, how useful it's going to be for us in the future. So if it were to sell off because, the vote isn't until January now or something, I think people would easily buy that dip up real quick. So I'm pretty bullish on this, and I think post-merger, I don't think we're going to get a huge sell-off like some SPACs do. That's pretty much it, guys. I pretty much use these days for adding to my long-term positions. I like the tech stocks, but also some of the SPACs that have been up for a long time, it was an attractive day to maybe add some of them. LGVW is one that I really like, and BFT is a cool one, although it was up today. So basically, you just have to be patient in this game, wait for the time to strike, and when you do have these red days, don't get scared. Those are the days you actually want to maybe start a position or average in and then average down. That's just my opinion, though. Here's what I said in my Discord yesterday. I made a long message just how I was feeling about the current state of the stock market and how it felt overextended. Now, you don't have to agree with me because everyone has their own opinion, and that's totally respectable, and no one can really predict the stock market. That's just how I feel. And when making money is coming too easily, I get really skeptical because stock market's not that easy. You have a lot of influence and institutional investors manipulating this market, and you just want to protect yourself from the downside risk. And that's why I think the way I do. I am a bull, but I do like to look at both sides and step back and look at the big picture. I think it's very smart to do, and that's how I like to think. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I also wanted to throw up a screenshot that dark pool, the big institutions, were buying today. So that makes me feel good that I was buying today as well. This is, they're buying that dip. They were waiting for this. They haven't been buying for a long time. So, if the big guys are buying, you kind of want to follow them. They know what they're doing. They know the market. So let me know what you think below. Give me your thoughts on the stock market. Are you bullish for December, bearish for 2021? Let me know what you think. Have a good one.
I'm learning to fly. PSA, I'm on average. PSA with no baggage. Flying by a mystery.